the first thing that I want to do is welcome you all and commend you for being with us for this week's version of the Wealth Creation Mastermind curriculum. I do just want to set the stage a little bit. Look, we're all here by intention, and the intention is for us to become successful, to be able to live the lifestyle of our dreams, but also have the free time to enjoy that time and money. So instead of trading your life away for the money to just exist, you're actually learning how on this call, on this broadcast, learning how to think in a very specific way, because you understand that, you hear about there's the 1% and the 99%. The 1% have almost all of the resources, all of the investments, like 80, the 1% has 80% of all of the wealth. Now, how does that happen? The one thing that the 1% has learned to do that the other 99% has not learned is to think in a very specific way. You see, it's thinking in a certain way that enables you to accumulate the wealth. Now, we also, in the Wealth Creation Mastermind, take you to the very next step, which is giving you wealth creation vehicles. That's tomorrow night. So right now, we are into the chapter on faith, chapter 3, in Napoleon Hill's great classic, Think and Grow Rich. Look, in the preface, in a word from the author, Napoleon Hill tells you outright, there is a secret that once you discover, you'll literally be swept on to success unparalleled in previous experience. Look, what we're dealing with this week in faith and next week in autosuggestion, it's the key. These two chapters must be studied, must be internalized, and must be applied. This is the secret. And in this chapter, chapter 3, we're talking about the key that unlocks the ability of the subconscious mind to communicate with the creative power of infinite intelligence. Because what's going on is, by learning to have faith, and there are steps to develop this ability. What takes place is you capture the capacity to visualize and then have total belief and conviction, full faith that what you want in your life is going to manifest. And that is the step that enables attainment of your desire. And Hill calls this the second step toward riches. The first is a burning desire for achievement. Now, you see this image, this frequency like a radio wave, and that is indeed what is going on with faith. Because what happens is when you blend this faith, this belief in your achievement, your attainment of your desire, then you mix that belief and that gratitude with the thought of your plan, of your affirmation of where you're going, then what takes place is the creative aspect, the feminine polarity of the mind, the subconscious mind, actually translates that message, that signal of thought and faith, and it puts it into a vibrational form that then comes into communion with infinite intelligence, right? I mean, do you get a hold of that? I mean, these are big concepts that we're dealing with here. It's like, wait a minute, I've got the capacity to commune with infinite intelligence. Well, that's exactly what's going on, okay, with faith. Now, so how do you activate that power of faith? If you are just, repeating your affirmation, your autosuggestion, trying to program your subconscious mind with, I believe that I am someday going to have all the happiness and the wealth and the achievement that I want in my life. I'm really looking forward to that. Brothers and sisters, ain't going to happen, right? You got to emotionalize it, and it's got to be a positive, powerful emotion. You have got to combine look, your emotions are like the dashboard on your car. They're telling you how fast you're going. If you've got an emotional state of blah, of disbelief, of disheartenment, of disappointment, then you're not going forward. You're going in reverse. You got that sucker in reverse, and you got your pedal on the gas. You're going backwards. The only way to go forwards is to combine. And the three most powerful human emotions are faith, love, and sex, reproductive rights. I mean, man, we are programmed, by these emotions. So you tap into them, you own them, and you convert them and transmute them and couple them with the power of your thought, of your plan. And so you take these powerful positive emotions, and what happens is you begin to program this state of faith in your mind. And, it is a mental state that you're dealing with. And then this is then induced into the subconscious. And you do this by doing it over and over and over and over and over again. What's the gestation period of an idea? No one knows. We know the gestation period of a human child is 9 months, right? Gestation period for an elephant, something like 18 months. But we don't know what the gestation period for an idea is. Depends on how powerful the idea, how much it's mixed with faith and belief, how far along you are. So what you've got to do is continue to plant that seed over and over and over again. And this is the importance of using repetition. Now, any impulsive thought that's repeatedly passed onto the subconscious mind is finally acted upon. And it goes before, that has to happen before it's translated into the impulse that causes it to transmute into its physical equivalent. So repetition is creative, but again, plain unemotionalized repetition will get you nowhere. These feelings of thought, these positive emotions, are what give the thought impulse vitality, life, and action. So what you do is all three combined are far more powerful than any one of faith, love, and sex alone. You combine the emotional state of all three with your thought process, and know that the way this power works of programming your subconscious mind, it can destroy your enemy, or it can cut your arm off or your head. You can literally decapitate yourself with your own thoughts. And what's going on here is, you see, you've got to understand that we talk about the law of attraction, and we are indeed attracting what we are vibrationally transmitting into the infinite. And there is an infinite intelligence that we have to come in contact with, and that infinite intelligence is going to deliver to us what we're broadcasting, what our frequency is. So the impulse of thought has got to be coupled with the positive emotions, and you understand and know that the subconscious mind is going to translate into its physical equivalent a thought impulse of a negative or a destructive nature just as readily as it's going to act on a positive impulse. And so your state of mind is highly critical. You've got to be monitoring it. And a lot of people go, well, geez, this sounds like a lot of work. I mean, do I have to do that all the time? Yeah, that's the price. It's unrelenting, right? That's why so few people do it, because it's work, right? You can't just sit around going, oh, I hope, I wish, gosh, wouldn't it be nice? No, you got to take personal responsibility for what's going on in 5 inches between your own 2 ears. So your faith, your belief, it's the element which determines the action of your subconscious mind. So you got to maintain that belief and expectancy. You've got to actually believe that you are indeed going to transmute your desire into its physical equivalent, and you need a bridge. You cannot get from where you are to communion with infinite intelligence without a bridge, right? And this is the bridge. This is what we're talking about. That's what That's what faith and autosuggestion is. It's the bridge that enables you to come in contact. And so that is why this concept of faith is the starting point of the accumulation of all riches. So without faith and belief in yourself, you have to, faith means that the subconscious mind is really you're going to transmute what you want into its physical equivalent. And what's happening is you're actually utilizing your mind as a vibrational sending or broadcasting station. You're broadcasting the spiritual equivalent of your desire into the mind of infinite intelligence. Now, faith is like any other state of mind. It can be induced by autosuggestion. All right. So what you've got to do is you've got to have total belief in yourself and in infinite intelligence and the power to convert thought into its physical equivalent. So you just have to know that faith is the eternal elixir that gives life, power, and action to the impulse of thought. Take it seriously. Remember when you were a kid, you had that can and you could talk to your friend through a string. Well, what if on the other end of that can was the original source and substance of everything, the creative power that could deliver to you everything and anything that you desired? Well, that is precisely the power of programming the subconscious with faith and belief. That's what puts you into communication with that original thinking source. And in our first book, which we start our study with, The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles, we say there's a thinking stuff from which all things are made, and its original state permeates, penetrates, and it fills the inner spaces of the universe. And we as creative centers can form thoughts in our minds, and by coming in communion with infinite intelligence, can cause the things we think about to be created. This faith, autosuggestion, positive belief, this is how you cause the things you think about to be created, okay? So self-suggestion is the key. Napoleon Hill talks about a secret. Guys, this is the secret. So the power of self-suggestion is the power that enables you to have that little can talking directly to infinite intelligence. So you got to understand that who we are, everything that you possess is a result of the predominant thoughts that you've held in your mind up until this point. And the great news is you can change that, and by changing it, take control. You can begin to direct the cruise ship of your life. So just know that you've got to be introspective all the time. What occupies your mind? I could tell you so many stories about how things have been attracted, but the thoughts that are mixed with the feelings and the emotions, they are actually magnetic. They are magnetic forces that begin to attract other similar or related thoughts. So it's an entire chain of causation that you're setting off with your thoughts, and repetition of that thought with emotion over and over and over, planting that seed from the conscious volitional to the subconscious action-oriented creative aspect of mind is how you take control. Any thought, idea, plan for yourself, plan for achievement, plan for accomplishment, or purpose that you have, which you hold in your mind, attracts a host of its relatives, right? It's not just itself alone. It just starts attracting others, and then it grows and grows and grows until it becomes the dominating, motivating master of the individual in whose mind it's housed. So look, you got to do an introspection, because the first place it starts, and be honest, most of us don't. It's like you say, do you have the self-confidence to become a multi-millionaire? Most of us go, no, I really don't. Well, this is where you've got to start. And Napoleon Hill gives a beautiful, beautiful formula for resolving that. And you've got to resolve You just throw off the influences, anything that's happened up until this point, irrelevant, let it go, don't hold on to it, right? Take inventory of your mental assets, your liabilities, and you're probably going to discover that you need this formula first. This is what you do. You actually write this out and you read it and you memorize it. I know that I have the ability to achieve the object of my definite purpose in life. Therefore, I demand of myself persistent, continuous action toward its attainment. And I here and now promise to render such action. Second is, I realize the dominating thoughts in my mind will eventually reproduce themselves in outward physical actions and gradually transform themselves into physical reality. Now, I'm going to concentrate my thought for 30 minutes daily upon the task of thinking of the person I intend to become. I'm going to see it, believe it, and picture it, and thereby creating in my mind a clear mental picture of who I am being, doing, and having. And third, I know the principle of autosuggestion, the secret. Any desire that I persistently hold in my mind will eventually seek expression through some practical means of attaining the object behind it. Now, therefore, I'm going to go ahead and devote 10 minutes, a whole 10 minutes every single day, demanding of myself the development of this self-confidence. This is critical. You must have a clearly written down description of your definite chief aim in life, and you will never stop. Winners never quit, quitters never win, until I have developed sufficient self-confidence for its attainment. Fifth, I fully realize that no wealth or position can long endure unless built upon truth and justice. Therefore, I'm going to engage in no transaction which doesn't benefit everybody who's involved. That's the creative thought, okay? And hopefully you picked it up in this chapter. You're going to succeed by attracting to yourself the forces that you wish to use in cooperation of other people. Therefore, you're going to develop love for all humanity, because I know that a negative attitude towards others is never going to bring me success. And I'm going to read this statement aloud daily until I commit it to memory. Look, negative thinking is going to take you down. Positive thinking is going to take you up. And it's your choice. You're the only one that can program your subconscious mind. And that part of your mind makes no distinction between the constructive and the destructive. You can either cause yourself to spiral up or spiral down, because everything, law of polarity, has two sides. Every coin has two faces. And the subconscious mind is going to translate into reality whichever face you concentrate on. The fact, the truth, the power is that somewhere within your makeup lies sleeping the seed of achievement, which, if aroused and put into action, is going to carry you to the heights such as you have never hoped to attain. Guys, time flies. Don't waste it. You don't know. Life is fleeting. And it's a flash. Even if you get 100 years, it's a flash. So program your mind. Stay in this material. Next week, we're into chapter 4, second part of the secret, autosuggestion. Look, you've got to learn to think in a certain way. That's what we do on these Monday nights. And then on Tuesday nights, we learn to act in a certain way. You've got to have a very clear picture of how you want to live, what your lifestyle is going to be, how you're going to achieve it, the vehicles for its achievement. We will help you with that. Be here tomorrow night, same time, same link. Again, I really want to commend and congratulate you for being in this material, for having the desire to change your life, to pay it forward, to change the lives of others. We, as a wealth creation mastermind, are going to have a team 1 million strong by January of 2020. And together, what we're going to do is we're going to lead others around the world into lives of freedom and meaning and prosperity, filled with physical, intellectual, and spiritual abundance. We're going to build multiple streams of passive income to be financially free, and we are going to pay it forward around the world.